Let's see. It says that we all know we have to drink 4 cases. And the reason is because there's 4 Lashonis of Geula in Parashas Vayera. Now, it's not because you have 4 synonyms. If you would have 50 synonyms, we'd have to drink 50 cases. Doesn't make any sense. Right? So obviously it means that each one is a madrege in freedom that we have to undertake, or was undertaken for us, which gave us a head start in how to make a new society. If you free avodim, just free them, then they have no place to eat lunch, they have no place to get to live, they have no clothing. Obviously, they're going to go out and steal. They have no weights. They have nothing what to do for them. They have no jobs. They have no nothing. They were avodim till today, and it could be that happened by Chizkiyahu too. They just freed them, and then the guy said, "Oh, I need some food and need some help." And the guy said, "Oh, if you come back and be my Eved again, I'll give you your food again." And they all went back. It's hard to say that everybody going out and got their avodim again made them come back. How did you make them come back? Most of the people don't want to be avodim. But they did, because the food was a big issue. So we had 4 stages of Cherus, and that's what the Torah is telling us about. The first one is I stopped the Avedis Perach, but you still were Avodim. And I saved you from your slavery. That means you were completely free, but you were second-class citizens. Second-class citizens means that you can exist, but you're not part of the hierarchy of the country. And I made it that you're possible to be regular citizens, but you have to live like a goy. In other words, you want to be an American citizen, you have to take off your hat when you go into places. You have to show certain types of respect. You can't wear a yarmulke anywhere, whatever it is. But if you want to be like us, then you can be a free man. And I took you for a nation. Now you can have your independence to be like you want to be. In other words, now all of a sudden we are able to be Shabbos observers. We're able to be in America, Shabbos observers. We can take tests on Shabbos. That we don't have to take them on Shabbos. We can take them on a different day. You can't fire us because we keep Shabbos. All of a sudden, these things, we can be different and still be a citizen in the United States. Those are the 4 Lashonos that we have. And like I'm in the Irasi, that was, we'll have independence as a country. Then we would have been Betchila free, because we didn't gain our freedoms because they made us free. But they had people who came from like the Punjabs or the Arabs, who wanted to wear their begodim where they wanted to, so then they had to give in to them, so they gave us the right to do it too. Pesach.
Shalom Aleichem. I'd like to share with you an intro to Pesach and to understand the importance of what we're about to enter. So, there was once a Yid. Rabbi Fran says this beautiful story that really puts us in the right frame of mind for Pesach. So there was once a Yid, and he was coming from Austria, and he eventually moved to Ramat Gan in Eretz Yisrael, and he was an unlearned person, but he became a gabbai in a shul, and he was had tremendous mesiras nefesh. And even though he didn't learn, but he was constantly working, and he was constantly striving that the shul should have shiurim and davening, and it should be clean, and he had tremendous mesiras nefesh, and his children were all tremendous talmidei chachamim, Bnei Torah, Rosh Yeshivas, and his daughters married Bnei Torah. And after he got older and he passed away, one of the Rosh Yeshivas of his son's yeshiva came to pay a condolence call, and he said to this man's son, he goes, "Could you please explain to me, how is it possible that an unlearned fellow like your father should be zocha to become such a wonderful, amazing tzaddik, and to have so many Bnei Torah and Lomdei Torah, like for his children and for his son-in-laws. So he says, I'll tell you, my father was just a boy, and he came from Austria. He came to England on the kinder transport. That was transport. Whoever doesn't know what that is, the government was able to put together a train of 1,000 young kids, and they saved them from the inferno of the war. So he says that actually my father was really supposed to travel with his father, my grandfather. But what happened was, at the last minute, my grandfather's papers did not come in. It wasn't good. There was nothing he could do, and he had to send my father on this kinder transport. So he put him on the train, and imagine this, an 8-year-old boy alone on a train, going away from his family, away from this place of his birth, without any parents. And he put my father Yankel on the train, and his father. The train started pulling away. His father started running alongside the tracks of the platform, and he started saying to his son, Yankel, Zaita Gitti Yid, be a good Jew. And he's running, and the train's moving on, and he keeps on running on, and he keeps on repeating himself, Yankel, Zaita Gitti Yid, Zaita Gitti Yid, and he's running along the tracks, and he keeps on saying it, and as the train is running faster, he doesn't let up. And the pace keeps on going, and he keeps on saying it, Yankel, Zaita Gitti Yid. And then, all of a sudden it stops, and he hears a thud, and Yankel looks out the window, and he sees his father tripped on the platform, and the trains, and they're moving away from each other. But his father quickly picked himself up, got on all fours, and he sees as the train is getting far out of reach, he gives one last scream, and he says, Yankel! You got it. Zaita Gitti Yid. Be a good Jew. And he says, that was the last. He says, my father told me that was the last I've ever heard my father. He didn't make it. The Nazis, Yimach Shemam, rounded him up, and shortly thereafter, it was gone. There was nothing left. So all I had of my father was the memory of him saying, Yankel, Zaita Gitti Yid. I traveled most of my childhood, he said. My father traveled most of his childhood. He wasn't able to learn and get a Jewish education, but one thing he was able to do was he always remembered Zaita Gitti Yid, and he sure did. He did everything that he could to be a Gitti Yid. And that's why he's zoicha to have children and grandchildren that are Talmidei Chachamim. On Pesach is our Messiah. Messiah for us to tell our children, Kinderlach, Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. Hashem made us into a nation. This is the Messiah, the once a year chance that we have. It's our chance to tell our children, Zaita Gitti Yid, be a good Jew. This is our chance. We don't even know how many, if and whatever Pesachs we have, we thank Hashem for the opportunity to pass on to our children the privilege, the beauty, the amazing pleasure it is, and the nitzchias, the eternal reward that it is to be a good Jew. This is our chance. Let's not lose it. Let's take this Pesach, and we'll tell our children, we'll gather them around. Whatever we say, all the things we say is very important, but the message has got to be Zaita Gitti Yid. This is what children remember. This is our chance to say it. I wish you all a wonderful Pesach, the ability to say and to pass it on to your children, and even to yourself, to pass it on to your friends, but to grab this yantiv and tell it to yourself. Make that commitment to Hashem. Let's make it a Pesach to remember. Thank you for watching.
You know, Pesach is the yantiv of the family. It's the yantiv of mishpacha. It's a mishpacha yantiv. That's why we mean so much to all of us that we get together around the table, we speak, we shmooze, we bond as a family. It says, that whoever doesn't say the following three things on Pesach was not Yaitz's mitzvah. What are the three things? Pesach, matzah, umar. Pesach al Shumma. That's the other ones also, but we're talking about Pesach tonight. Pesach al Shumma. Why Pesach? Pesach because HaKadosh Baruch Hu passed over. The name of Passover. The homes, Abate Abasidim Mitzrayim, the houses of our parents Mitzrayim, and it says that 3 times that he passed over our homes. Benakpai es Mitzrayim, when he smote, when he killed the Mitzrayim. That's why we're celebrating. That's what Pesach is all about. The question arises grammatically a little bit of an inconsistency. No, here's my question from Rabbi Zevi Trank. It says 3 times that he passed over our homes, but if it's true, nothing about their homes. It doesn't say when he went into their homes and killed them. It should say either he passed over our homes and went into their homes, or he passed over us and killed them. There's no consistency here. I think the answer lies in a mushal. I was once on a plane, coming from LA, and right across the aisle was sitting next to me a lady, this distinguished looking lady, and I always say hello. Hello, what are you? Rabbi, there, we're from Rockaway, Queens, where are you? Topeka, Kansas, what do you do? I'm a farmer. We spoke about, she asked me, you're a rabbi in the school, when is your vacation? This was in May. I said July and August. It's not by us vacation May and June, because the harvesting season is July and August, so we want our kids to be back in school then, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Then planes started going to take off, and I'm sitting there, I take out my chumash, I'm not a sedra. I say a little till before the plane takes off, and I'm not a sedra. The way I'm not a sedra is I do each pasuk twice, then, which is the chatchil, the best way to do it, and then the targum, and then the Rashi. And I'm going to do twice this, one over here. Sometimes someone's looking over your shoulder, she's staring at me. Finally, around 15 minutes into the flight, she says to me, Rabbi, what are you doing? So I explained to her, I said, nice to be. I said to her, this is the Bible, here is the verses, I say each one twice, here is the translation, that's the Targum, and here is the commentary, Rashi, and then I go back to here. Very nice. How often do you do that, Rabbi? I said, every week. We have 50-something portions, and we divide it up by the weeks. Every week I do it. Very nice. Okay, fine. She liked my answer. 50 minutes later, Rabbi, tell me something. Do you have Shabbat? I said, what's this lady from Topeka? She told me she's Roman Catholic. What does she know about Shabbat? She said, do you have Shabbat? I said, yeah. Every week? I said, yeah, every week. And that's when the husband comes home he goes to the temple, and he comes home, he's dressed up all in his nice clothing, and takes his boys with him. And the mother of the family, she goes like this, over the candles, and then her little girls are dressed beautifully sitting next to her. I said, yeah, we have that. Then you come home to a sumptuous meal, and the kids have questions on sheets, and they ask questions, and then you sing beautiful songs. I said, yeah, you have that every week, Rabbi? Every week? I said, yeah. And she gave me the best shmooze I ever got in my life about Shabbos. She said, you know how lucky you are, Rabbi? You know how lucky you are? We don't have that. If we're lucky on Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, if we're lucky, we don't have what you have. And she explained to me what Shabbos, what she was telling me? She was telling me about the bias. Our home, we have a Shabbos, we have a Yantif, we have a Kriyat Shema, we have a Mezuzah, and we have grandparents coming to the table, and we have all the mitzvahs all year long with all the Yom Tovim. We have a Shabbos because we have a home, we have a bias. We are lucky we belong to homes. We have a shtub, you say in Yiddish, that's Litvish, Chassid would say shtib. We have a bias. They don't, and that's what we're celebrating here on Pesach. That's the answer to Eric Kasha. Why does it say by Klal Yisrael, Pesach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, al Batei Avosei Mitzrayim? Because we have a home. We killed the Mitzrayim, they didn't have homes. It's a garnish, nothing. We have to celebrate this Pesach. We have to celebrate the idea of the Jewish home, the idea of the father and the mother and the grandparents and the children. And where there's no father chas v'shalom and no mother chas v'shalom, or even in a broken home sometimes, a divorced home, we celebrate what we have in life, and we have so much. Even the ones who don't have that much have so much. That's Pesach. What a beautiful Yom Tov. Reminds us of what we have in our homes. That's what it's all about. I want you all to have a Chag Kosher v'Sameach. Enjoy your Yom Tov. Celebrate Klal Yisrael. Celebrate us, the Jewish people that have the beautiful bias. All the best. Sayonara.
I'd like to share with you a pshat in the Mishnah that I thought of a couple of years ago, based on a beautiful Kedusha Levi in Parshas Eikev. The famous pasuk Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael, Ve'ata ma Hashem Elokecha sholem imach ki im liyira, which literally translated means, and now Klal Yisrael, what does Hashem ask from us? Except for Yirah Shamayim. All Hashem wants from us is to be Yirah Shamayim. The Levi has a beautiful explanation of the pasuk. The Levi says that the word ma refers to anivos, to humility. And the proof is Moshe Rabbeinu. The Gemara says that Moshe Rabbeinu was the most humble person to ever live, because he said about himself, "V'nachnu ma, what am I? Ma, what am I?" Avram Avinu said, "I am Offer V'Efer. Anochi Offer V'Efer." Moshe Rabbeinu said, "I'm even less than that." So the Gemara says the word ma means what? It means humility. So says Levi, this is how I read the pasuk. Ma Hashem Elokecha sholem imach. Hashem requests us to be humble. He wants us to be that ma, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Ki im liyira. Except when it comes to spirituality, spiritual accomplishments. That we have to be proud of ourselves. That we should walk around with our head up high. The fact that somebody has money, he's smart, he's athletic, that's all from Shemayim, Akol B'nei Shemayim. But somebody who learns extra, who does a chesed, that's something he acquires on his own. That's something to be proud of. Ki im liyira. A person should be humble, should be ma, except when it comes to Yirah Shamayim spirituality. With this we can explain perhaps a new idea in the Ma'anishtana. The kids are at the table, and they look around, they see their father dressed like a king, everybody's comfortable. Ma, the what, is nishtana b'layla zeh. The what is different. Usually we're humble. Usually we're like Moshe Rabbeinu. Why are we acting like kings? Why are we walking around with our head up high? And the answer is because we're celebrating Ruchnius. We're at the 49th level of Tumah. We had no Gashmi Yitzias Tzrayim, but we did the Korban Pesach. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out in order to give us the Torah. We're celebrating spirituality. When it comes to spirituality, the Kli Levi said, Ki im liyira, we can be proud of ourselves. We can act as kings when we accomplish something Ruchnius. So with that in mind, this Pesach, we should go into Yom Tov being proud of our accomplishments in Ruchnius. Whatever we did extra, we should be proud of, and going forward, make new goals and how to serve Hashem properly. And everybody should have a Chag Kosher V'Sameach.
Pesach is the time of freedom. We celebrate Zman Chereseinu, we celebrate our freedom. We gotta know what freedom means. So we know that freedom is when a person gives himself over to Hashem and becomes a servant of Hashem. That is freedom. That it's called a servant is because freedom means when a person is able to produce himself and develop himself to his own full capabilities, and his own personality is able to come out. When a person is a servant of Hashem, that's the way that his own personality should come out. When the communists made communism, the first thing they realized they have to do is get rid of religion. Why is every communist country against religion? Because communism is about the people being slaves, the slaves to the country. They realize that if someone's a slave to God, he cannot be a slave to his country. It's either, if you're a slave to God, that means you're a slave you belong to yourself. Because God gives you the rights. God gives every person the right to be who he is. And that's what communists did not want. They didn't want people to be what they are. Communists wanted people to be what they wanted them. The Russians wanted the Russian people to be what Stalin wanted they should be. And then they understood that if a person's going to be a servant of Hashem, that means that the person's developing on his own and becoming himself what he's supposed to be. That's what they did not want. That's what we celebrate on Pesach. We celebrate on Pesach going out of Mitzrayim. Going out of Mitzrayim means from here on in, we're able to develop on our own. We're able to build our inner self. We're able to understand who we are, what we are, and what our goals are. And we're able to bring ourselves to our goals and accomplish all the goals that we set for ourselves. That's what Pesach is about. And if we have this in mind, we'll have a Pesach that's one big evolved.
In Rabbi sei, Eidem rett a jidisch Wort auf der heilige Tag, was kommt zu gehen, tun wir nicht dem Pintele müssen wir gedenken. Der Pintele, wie alle wir schon im Sogen, was wir meinen, du der Leidische Mirem, die jetzt hier ist mit Zahlen, meint nicht mehr von dem Pintele Raum in Pintele Art, sondern umkommen eine Sache. Der bekannte Rambam, was man weiß, was man dieses Gitt über Chaser und du sie das Scheurisch, du sie das so bescheuert, das ist alles Ding. Kennst gut, du weißt, aber du sie noch auch in dem Pintele, der Pintele du, das wuss. Du der Ramban ist auf Parshas Boi, kein Singen, für Siprizis mit Reim, mit Alzin, kein Lehudom, heilig, betrug mich Rabbeini. Hat schon Namen, mich hol nur du rein, mit Kreine, schickel Nissem ein beim Tee, weil mir nur geschleudern. Also versteht jede Sache, ist ein beim Tee, weil mir nur geschleudern, so als Nissem. Wenn meine Tage Freitag ständig kein Mal nicht gekocht, ständig, erinnert sich mich, nicht Gericht. Du sie der Pintolle von dem ganzen Nacht, du sie durch das Reim, Rosch. Du sie das Schroite sich immer zu tragen, der Pintolle wissen, im Innen, als gute Brut ist nicht der, nicht ja noch. Du redest mir noch Pintolle, wo es mit ab, du jetzt, die Aran, Wurzeln, so bleiben auf der ganzen, alle weißen, man redet doch nicht Gechedischen. Man redet doch nicht Gechedischen, alle weißen, aber in dem Nacht auf den Aran legen, muss man weiß, soll Aran in den Harz. Wie der Chedisch Arim sucht. Sucht ein Pele von der Sache. Sinn, der Gute sucht man, weil Uraya ist in der Mitzrayim, weil Anini weit nur einer bei der Kushut, ist Pusik wie in Parshas Tisubot. Ich meinte zu Vater, weil Uraya ist in der Mitzrayim, Kushaneima, weil Uraya ist in der Mitzrayim. Weil Anini Kushaneima, weil Simul auf Surah Mitzrayim. Die mich geht bringen, der Gute, am Moir hat gedacht, Reis auf Psiken für Psiken. Weil Uraya ist in der Mitzrayim, Kushaneima, Uraya ist in der Mitzrayim. Weil Anini Kushaneima, bei Simul auf Surah Mitzrayim, bringt von einem Pusik Reihe, von zweiten Pusik, wo ist gerade vor? Du nimm dich einfach und ich suche alle Psiken, du weißt, die ganze Suche, aber ich muss schon immer, kannst du nicht nehmen, ein Pusik, in Suchen auf den Pusik, bei zu teilen den Pusik, in Suchen kann ich nehmen, ein anderer Pusik. Du doch in Scharim, nein, in dem Nacht schreit man auch aus dem Emmes. Aber wenn sie kommt, aber ihr Reihe ist und ihr Mitzrim, ja noch die schlecht getan, sind nicht sie muss schon nehmen, es ist nicht im Ganzen. Sie muss schon nehmen, meint nicht den Pusik, wenn sie geschrieben, Oven geworden. Weil ja Nini ist gemushen neymar oven. Du doch keine Musik. Was du noch a Sache, aber nicht kann schon mal gau sein, ist auch gemushen neymar. Du kannst noch als mit Wattel sagen. Aber nicht kann ist auch gemushen neymar. Es gibt aber nicht sag, zum Beurer Eulam, kann das als mit Wattel sagen.